In 2001, my first trip to the Cove, I was a glossophobic. So what's a glossophobic? Well, I'm glad you asked. A glossophobic is a person who has a fear of public speaking. Now for me, you could put me in front of 100 people and I was fine. You could put me in front of 1,000 people, yes! But if you put me in front of 10 people, well, I'd have to think about that for a minute. And 3 or 4 people, I just couldn't do it. But that's what happened to me on the second day at the Cove. The first day of the Cove, God started dealing with me, and he just kept pressing me and just moving me that I needed to go to a small group. So we wrestled, and we wrestled with that. And finally I said, yes, yes, God. I just said yes. And when I got to that small group, I came in the room and I went way back in the corner, and hopefully no one would see me. But I sat at a table with a man who was in charge of this table, and his name was Bob. And Bob started asking all of these questions. He would ask someone a question and they would answer it, and he would ask and they would answer, and it went on like that. But then Bob did something a little different. He stopped asking specific people and he just threw out a general question. Well, does anyone have any thought on, this, that, and the other? Well, everybody just sat there. And then something happened to my mouth. I just said, "Whoa!" and I blurted out the answer. And Bob looked at me like, "Whoa, Dell, okay. Dell, do you have anything else you'd like to add to that?" No. But Bob wouldn't let it go. So Bob just kept pulling and pulling and pulling. And the next thing I knew, Bob and I were having this conversation, and we were going back and forth. We were high-fiving each other. I mean, we were having a great time. But at some point in time, we had to leave. But when I left, I still didn't understand that what happened at that table over there, it was a defining moment. God was getting ready to change my life forever. A few weeks later, I was invited to be the vice president on a regional organization. Now, because I was the vice president, it allowed me to be on the executive board. And the executive board was a small group. And because of my presence on the executive board, I got a lot of attention. And people started asking me, "Well, Dell, could you speak at our group? And could you speak here? And could you do this? And you know what? We're having a conference. Could you do a workshop here and a workshop over here? Dell, we have a newsletter. Would you write just maybe one article?" And then they would say, "Well, Dell, could you do a series of articles? Could you write for us ongoing?" Wow. Opportunity after opportunity was just rolling in. I came to the Cove the first time as a claustrophobic, shaking in my boots. And then the second time, I'm a speaker coach. Look at God. So here's my challenge to you. Whatever it is God's called you to do, whatever it is, just say yes. Say yes. But when you say yes, hold on to your boots, because God's got something amazing that he's getting ready to do. But it's going to start with you. Just say yes.